A manly hero coming to the rescue of a beautiful damsel in distress has been a common trope since literally the earliest days of theatre, going all the way back to the ancient Greeks. As the centuries passed, mythical creatures were replaced by more mundane dangers. Notable to the topic at hand is the common trope of a top-hat-clad, magnificently mustachioed villain tying a buxom damsel in distress to the railway tracks while a dashing hero rushes in to save the day. So where exactly did this railway trope come from, and are there actually any known cases of this happening in real life? Well, to begin with, while your first instinct might be to assume that this trope originated during the silent film era, this is not quite correct, though it is true you can find isolated examples of this in a few surviving films. For example, the 1913 film Barney Oldfield's Race for a Life is commonly touted as the first film to feature the chained to a railway scene, including a mustachioed villain wearing a fetching hat, a beguiling beauty tied to the railway tracks, and a daring last-minute rescue by a handsome hero. It's all there. The thing is, this was a comedy specifically created to lampoon the very trope. In another similar example, we have the 1917 film Teddy at the Throttle, in which the fair maiden, played by Gloria Swanson, humorously rescues herself from peril because the dashing hero arrives too late. To find the true origin of the trope, at least in terms of what popularized it, we have to go back to stage plays, with it commonly stated that Augustin Daly's 1867 play Under the Gaslight was first. This does indeed contain such a scene, in this case where a character named Snorky is tied to the rails by a man named Bike. As he is doing this, Bike exclaims, "I'm going to put you to bed. You won't toss much. In less than 10 minutes, you'll be sound asleep. There, how do you like it? You'll get down to the branch before me, will you? You dog me and play the eavesdropper. Now do it if you can. When you hear the thunder under your head and see the lights dancing in your eyes and feel the iron wheels a foot from your neck, remember Bike." Thankfully for Snorky, in sort of a reversal of the gender roles in the scene, a damsel named Laura manages to come to his rescue and free him just before the train arrives. While, as noted, Daly is commonly given credit for coming up with the idea, it turns out this isn't correct at all. It was simply his play that popularized it. For example, sticking with theatre, if you dig a little deeper, a similar scene also appears in a previous play called The Engineer, released in 1863 in Britain. Nevertheless, the effect the scene in Daly's play had on the audience was so good that rival playwrights quickly began including railroad scenes in their own melodramas, much to Daly's chagrin. To try to protect the concept that he felt had come up with, he decided to sue those who used it in their own plays. Despite instances like a short story, Captain Tom's Fright, released before Daly's play, featuring an extremely similar scene being used by the defense, the courts weren't persuaded, and the case became a landmark one in the history of copyright law in the US. It was specifically ruled that copying the essence of a scene closely in other plays did indeed infringe on intellectual property rights, even if no words were copied and it wasn't literally the exact same scene. Nevertheless, theatre promoters heroically ignored this ruling, continuing to rip Daly off anyway, presumably duly under the assumption that Daly wouldn't get around to suing everyone, and that if enough modifications were made to the scene, they'd probably get away with it anyway. Similarly, back in the UK, the trope also spread like wildfire, with one Nicholas Daly noting in his paper, "Blood on the track, sensation, drama, the railway, and the dark face of modernity." In October 1868, the railroad scene could be witnessed in 5 different plays at 5 different London theatres. Alright, so that's how the trope was popularized, but has anyone ever actually been tied to a railroad track in that way? It turns out that even though it's rare, yes, there are several known instances of this happening. For example, according to the August 31st, 1874 issue of the New York Times, a Frenchman, identified by the paper as simply Gardner, was killed in this exact manner after being robbed and left tied to a railway track. However, in this specific case, the unfortunate Frenchman was able to partially free himself, with the result being only the lower half of his left leg being severed. Gardner survived long enough to offer a description of his attackers to the authorities before succumbing to his injuries. It's noteworthy that this and several other known cases in the following decades came after the ubiquity of the trope in theatre, despite the fact that trains had been around for a long time. Thus, much like the idea of mobsters putting concrete shoes on people to send them to sleep with the fishers, it would seem that this was first thought up by entertainers, only to be copied in various isolated instances by real people. As for more modern examples of the train trope, and one which actually includes a damsel, this involves another Frenchman, Guillaume Gremy, in 2017. Unfortunately for all involved, not only was Guillaume not sporting a magnificent moustache and a top hat at the time of his crime, but he also completely took the fun out of the whole thing. You see, Guillaume was suffering from severe depression at the time. When efforts to get back together with his estranged wife, Emily Halloween, faded, he decided on her 34th birthday to bind her to a high-speed railway track using, to quote a police spokesman, strong adhesive tape, and then stood over her as the train approached. Sadly, real life being real life, there was no dashing hero to save the day here, and tragically for the couple, their toddler child, and other respective children, the pair were killed instantly when the train hit them at a reported 200 miles an hour. So, yes, indeed, there have been several known cases of people being murdered via being placed on railway tracks, but sadly, as far as we can tell, rescue after the villain places the victim on the tracks seems to be something that's only found in fiction. Let's get on with those bonus facts. It's long been rumoured that as part of its notoriously brutal selection process, the SAS will tie prospective recruits to a railway track whilst blindfolded to teach them how to stay calm under pressure. The SAS trainers will then feign panic and pretend that something has gone wrong, all while the sound of an oncoming train can be heard. In reality, the recruit is tied to an adjacent piece of track, and trainers will observe what, if anything, the recruit does during their predicament. And now for another bonus fact. Beyond tying the living to tracks, there are also known cases of people putting the dead on tracks to try and get away with murder by making it look like an accident. Perhaps the most well-known example of this is the 1993 case of 2-year-old James Bulger. We'll spare you the horrific details of the murder itself at the hands of 2 young boys, but suffice it to say that in an attempt to make the death look like an accident, the 2 kids placed the already mangled tiny body onto a railway track. It was subsequently run over, but this did little to hide the pre-existing injuries, and the police soon tracked down the 2 young perpetrators.